What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Mel's Smokin'Kitchen. What's smoking today? Chicken Parmesan alla vodka. Or for those that speak ABC, chicken Parmesan with a vodka sauce. Alright, I'm joking. But what I'm not joking about is this dish right here. When I tell y'all this dish is so good, I now understand why Italians be kissing each other so much. Because if somebody made this for me, I wouldn't let them breathe. I mean, just look at that ooey gooey cheese and that perfect vodka sauce. This is a top tier dish. So let's get right into it. So I got my chicken breast out into a separate pan, and the first step of any chicken dish is cleaning your meat. I got my meat cleaner vinegar right here. So I'm gonna get that in the pan, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean this meat. You wanna make sure this meat is both clean washed and clean cut. So I'm just going around the chicken breast, removing anything I would consider an impurity, any leftover fat, or just hanging pieces that I don't want. Just giving this chicken a little off the top, just a little off the top. I'm gonna do that same for the rest of my chicken breast. And this is my pile of chicken cuts, so I'm just gonna go ahead and toss that. The next step is to butterfly your chicken. So you're gonna grab your knife, find the midpoint of the chicken, and cut straight across without cutting through. Now that's a good cut. And then again, I'm going to do this for the rest of my chicken breast. When we beat the chicken, we don't want a whole bunch of liquid going everywhere, so just a quick pat dry works. After we dry the chicken, I'm gonna cover it with some plastic wrap to prevent any chicken meat from flying everywhere. And you're gonna grab your choice of meat beater. You can either use some wood, or as you see I got here, a rolling pin. And then we're gonna give that meat a good beating. As you see, I have these welfare chicken breasts that I got from Sam's Club, where basically one is two. So I went ahead and I beat one side of the chicken, and I'm gonna go ahead and beat the other side. Tenderize. I'm tenderizing chicken. I'm not beating it. For those of you that want to be fun killers. This is my seasoning blend right here. You can find it down below. This is what I consider my all-purpose for chicken. So through here, I'm going to flip through these chicken breasts like pages and make sure each piece is coated somewhat in the seasoning. And I'm going to get my hands in there and just rub it in. I'm just flipping through the chicken breast, just making sure each piece is coated well and evenly. I had to enlist the help of my third hand to give me some oil, and I'm just adding a little bit of moisture back into this so that way that spice, that seasoning spreads a bit easily across all the chicken. But once you get it all mixed in, this is what it should look like. And then we're gonna take this and store it for about an hour in the fridge. After an hour, you want to get your dredging station set up. So you see I got 3 clear pans here. One side is going to be my flour, middle is going to be my eggs, and the left is going to be my panko mix. So I'm going to start with about 2 cups of flour, and we're going to season that generously. I got some seasoned salt right here. Then if you got some MSG, a little MSG ain't never hurt nobody. And you want to mix that until well combined, and I'm going to add a little bit of pepper here. And as you see, if your flour ain't changing colors, then you ain't add enough seasons. Add enough, you just want a slight tint, and then you're just gonna take a pinky, taste it, and if you could taste some of the seasoning, you are good. I add 6 eggs to a bowl, gonna give that a good whisk, add a little bit of salt and pepper, and that will be my egg wash station. Next, I'm gonna grab our Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna shred it just straight into the bowl just to make things easier. Then I'm gonna add 2 cups of panko. Then I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of salt, pepper, and MSG. You want seasoning in every stage of that chicken breast. So from that flour to the egg wash to that panko, you wanna make sure you got layers of seasoning. But not too much. We don't want this salty. So mix until well combined, and your dredge station is set up. And to do this, like I said, you're gonna take your chicken from your flour into your egg wash into your panko, and try to keep one dry hand, one wet hand, like I'm doing here. So my wet hand is gonna initially start off from my flour into my egg wash, and it's gonna take it from the egg wash, drop it into the panko, and where my dry hand will then cover the chicken with panko. And see, I don't do the back and forth method of into the egg wash, into the panko again. I decide to make sure in my panko it is heavily coated. So as you see here, I'm grabbing the panko on my free hand. I'm just pressing it into any wet spot that I can visibly see on the chicken breast. Just give it a good flips back and forth, and you see it is well coated. And set it off onto a wire rack, and just repeat that process for the rest of the chicken breast. And this is what your coated chicken should look like. Next up, you're gonna take your choice of frying oil. So I have this giant box of frying oil that I need to go through. So pouring clear frying oil into my pot and heat that to 350 degrees. While that's heating on a separate stove, I have my pasta water pre-salted. I'm gonna take this to boiling and add and cook my pasta. My oil is up to temp and we're gonna drop that chicken right in that hot oil. My pan is only big enough for 2 at a time, so that's all I can add. About midway through, I'm going to rotate, flip this, make sure one side isn't getting too dark. And after around 5-6 minutes, this chicken breast should be relatively thin, so it'll cook pretty quick. I'm gonna remove that and look at this nice golden brown color. Oh yeah, that is perfect. After all of my chicken is fried, it's time to get started on our vodka sauce. So you're gonna add your oil and some butter into a pan and you're gonna get that heated and melted. You're gonna come around, you're gonna add your shallot and we're gonna cook that for around 1 minute before we add our garlic. You're gonna add yourself a couple cloves of garlic. I got my garlic pressed out and y'all know I like my garlic. So I added around 6-7 cloves of garlic. It's nature's medicine. And we're gonna cook that down until fragrant. So for around 30 seconds. Then we're gonna add our tomato paste and you're gonna stir that into your shallot and garlic. After your shallot and garlic is coated in that tomato paste, it's time for the star of the show, the vodka. Gonna give yourself a good pour of vodka and we're going to cook the alcohol down out of that. Once you have burned off that alcohol, we're gonna add in our tomatoes and make sure you buy the correct tomatoes and don't be like me.
Oh, these are peeled. I thought I got crushed.
I accidentally bought peeled tomatoes instead of crushed, but no worries, the show must go on. We're gonna crush them ourselves. And you know, I actually think it turned out a little bit better this way. Not gonna lie to you. So if you wanna go this route and buy peeled tomatoes and crush them yourself, by all means. After adding our tomatoes, we're gonna cover and simmer this for around 10 to 15 minutes. Now I probably should have done this before simmering, but we're gonna add some salt, pepper, and our red pepper flakes. And then we are going to add in our heavy cream. And see, as we stir in our heavy cream into our tomatoes, you see that familiar vodka sauce color start to appear, that nice orange color. So we're gonna add in our Parmesan. And then we're going to let this simmer for another 5 minutes until you get this to a thickness that'll coat a spoon. Now up until this point, our pasta should be ready, our chicken should be fried, and our vodka sauce is now in the finishing stages. All that's left is to grab a pan. You're gonna put in a couple scoops of that vodka sauce into an oven-safe pan. Got me some fresh mozzarella and gave that a good shred. And I'm going to add a good handful on top of that pasta. And we're gonna broil this until brown and bubbly. Next is to grab our pasta. I'm going to add in around 2 scoops of our pasta sauce and about a half scoop of some reserved pasta water. And I'm going to mix and emulsify that with the pasta, because what I want to do is I want to slightly coat the pasta in pasta sauce, but not fully. I'm going to do that at the end after I melt my cheese and pour it over. And that's it, y'all. Next is to just plate and pour that sauce all over your chicken and your pasta. I'm not telling y'all, that is a money shot. Like, oof. This meal was fire. Chicken Parmigiana alla vaca. If you guys enjoy recipes like this, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.